What's good, YouTube? This your man Spill Dog. You know, man, I was looking at the fight with Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford last night, and I also watched a fight that Terrence Crawford had with Hank Lundy some time back. And what I think make Crawford probably the best boxer of this era that I would say he's the best complete all around boxer in this era. Now, I don't, I came up with Sugar Ray. I've seen a lot of great fighters, so I'm not putting him all time, but in his era, he is the best. He's the best one out the bunch in a total package. And I think what makes him the best boxer is the fact that Terrence Crawford know how to fight too. You know, you can't overlook that. Some of these guys are truly just boxers. They've been boxing all their life. They ain't really had no street fights. Most of them probably. Probably a whole lot of these fighters. I would say Devin Haney. I would think he might be one of them type guys that never really been in no real street fights. He might have, but he just don't carry it like that. But you can tell Crawford got that grit in him. From he can from fighting. Not boxing, from fighting, and that's where the toughness and the heart come from. I believe. I think and that's one of the reasons why I don't want him fighting Canelo. Terrence Crawford don't have submission in him. I don't see it. I don't see no submission in this kid. Well, young man, he a lot older now. Terrence Crawford is a guy that's gonna fight you. Put it like this: he'll come out there and box, but if you want to fight, he will fight. And if you push him, and I think if you start losing, he will fight. Similar to what happened kind of with Sean Porter when he turned up a little bit late. Terrence Crawford he's a total package of the boxing skills, the left hand, right hand. I just think a lot of that come from him being out there in them streets fighting. I mean, he just carry it like that. He got that mentality, he got that attitude, he got the mask. He for real about what he said for real about. And if you want to fight Terrence Crawford, I don't see him running from nobody that's worth talking to. Now, if you ain't nobody, he ain't gonna waste his. He is too big, and he been too big for the last 8-9 years to pay attention to some up and comer that ain't really, that ain't made no name for itself. But if you somebody serious in the boxing game, from 150, from 160 on down, I think Crawford will fight anybody. I really do. I think he'll fight anybody, and I think he'll, if he win or lose, he gonna show up. If he win or lose with Canelo, Crawford's gonna show up, and Crawford's gonna fight. I don't see him. Only way I see Crawford running per se or moving a lot is if, like it was with Postal, he know he gonna be able to win a fight like that. I don't see him getting to the point where he just gonna want to last to the last round. I don't see none of that in him. I see Crawford one of them guys that's why I worry he will get hurt in there, because he gonna fight, and the harder you fight him, the harder he gonna fight back. Or if you get him down, if he down on the scorecards, he gonna come on with it. And I think you need to have that. Bernard Hopkins had that. Andre Ward had that. Roy Jones Jr. had that type. I'm sorry, James Toney. It was certain dudes who you knew. It wasn't just about, they wasn't just good boxers. They can get busy all the way around. And Terrence is that guy. Do I like this fight with him and Canelo? Not even a little bit. I just don't like it. I want to see Terrence Crawford at this point. I actually thought Earl Spence would beat him, but Terrence Crawford came out on top. Now, that didn't mean I didn't like Terrence Crawford. I just thought Earl Spence would beat him, and I kept trying to tell dudes that just because I was going for Earl Spence don't mean I didn't like Crawford. I mean, I'm a boxing fan. I like watching good fighters. If you're a good fighter, hell, I like you. Because I pay for my fights. I don't steal them, so I want to get my motherfucking money's worth. And Crawford ain't never let me down. Now, when I didn't like Crawford was when he first started on HBO, and I think he was finding out who he was at that particular time as far as in the boxing ring because his fights was kind of boring. But since he was, I say since the fight with Gamboa, he been knocking dudes out and being exciting. And you know, if him and Canelo fight, it's gonna be a hell of a fight. You know, the long ass arms she got, you gonna have problems. Cause when he shell up, you gonna have to go around his arms, cause it's gonna be hard to go up the center. Them elbows, you fuck around, fuck your hand up his elbows, and his arms are so long. I saw when he mashed up against Spence, it ain't a lot of openings there. You're gonna have to make the openings, and Canelo's strong enough to do that, you know. But I will say this for me, I think that's what separate Crawford from most of the guys. Besides him, that he not just a boxer. Terrence Crawford is a fighter as well. You know, you could tell he and Zab Judah gave me that. I had to, you know, Zab Judah was that type. Zab was just, I think Zab's biggest issue was chasing that money. You know, I think Zab was like AB, a guy that should have stayed at 140 pounds. But the money was up there at 147. That's why Floyd and all of them went to welterweight at the time to get the bag. So you can't hate on no motherfucker for getting no money. But at 140, I didn't see nobody beating Zab back in his day. And I feel the same way about Crawford. If you got him in his weight division at this point, ain't nobody beating him. You know, Spence ain't the same guy he once was when he first won his belt. I think before the accident, he was already changing as far as being undisciplined and, you know, a little lazy about staying in shape. You remember when he fought Sean Porter, they said basically the whole camp was him losing weight, and it looked like it in the fight, you know. So, I mean, ever since Spence got to that money, he really didn't keep his focus like he should have. Like, Bud is dialed in 100%, you know. He stay in the gym, he stay working out with guys, he stay, this what he do. Kind of like Floyd. Floyd was like that. Floyd was a gym rat. And, you know, guys like that, you know, it's going to be hard to beat them. You know, he a gym rat, especially a guy like Crawford, because he a gym rat. And he come up in the streets. You can always, I mean, Ray Charles can see it, you know. So I think even though I don't like to fight with Canelo, but I won't never say he ain't got a good, you know, he ain't got a chance because, you know, his reach, his speed, and his feet. That's another thing about Terrence Crawford. He got, you got to look at his footwork in the ring. That motherfucker got some good feet on him. He got the best feet. Maybe Floyd Mayweather might be the only one I see with better feet boxing than Crawford. Now, and I don't care who it is. He got, his footwork is beautiful. You know, the way he knew how to move and pivot, and man, his footwork is just awesome. You know, that's one of the things. That's one of, I say if he fight Canelo, he got footwork and reach. Them would be, and speed. Them the three advantages I would see him with. But I think he giving up a lot if you go in there with Canelo. But I still say out of this era of fighters, and that's for about, I guess, the last 10, 15 years. So I have to say Terrence Crawford is the best all-around boxer out of all of them. Now Tank is my man. Tank is up there, but you know, Tank finna knock you the hell out. You know, and Crawford is too. But I just think Crawford is a little bit, you know, because he switch hands. You know, he go left, he go right. He's more versatile. I think he the cream of the crop out of this decade or his era of fighters. He definitely turned out to be the best. Now Keith Thurman, Keith Thurman, what made him so good to me was when I found out he could box and move too, because, you know, for a long time I thought Keith was just one of them guys that's going to come forward with them big shots, because that's how he started off when he was fighting lesser fighters. Once he got to the top level fighters, he showed a whole nother element to his game, the way he, you know, moving around the ring and outboxing dudes. Like Danny Garcia said, his speed was the main thing, gave him the most problems with him. And Keith and Earl or Keith at the top of their game would have been a better fight with Crawford, but Keith didn't respect Crawford when he had the title. He didn't respect Spence when he had the title. And That's part of why he going through what he going through now, because he was very disrespectful of Earl and Bud when he was on top. I mean, it wasn't so much that he didn't fight him; it was how dismissive and disrespectful he was about not fighting him. And I really can't blame neither one of them to some degree. Now, Earl at this point, I mean, it's the right fight for him and Keith because they stay out the ring so long. But you know, he's stubborn as a mule, so he ain't gonna do what he gonna do. And that's just how Earl is. So once he say something, he pretty much, I gotta give him that. He a man of his word. When he said he was gonna fight Crawford, he kept his word and fought him, although he shouldn't have at the time. He wanted that money though. And Crawford did what a shrewd businessman do. Handled him. If you're gonna he basically let Crawford take the A side from him, if you ask my opinion. Bud controlled that whole negotiation. He ain't need nobody. Bud handled that by his damn self, and then got in the ring and took care of business. You can't do nothing but respect it. You can't do nothing but respect it. Anybody say different, that's hate. That's hate. And I will give Bud like I said, I just don't want to see him fight Canelo. I honestly don't. I would love to see him go fight Charlo. I would love to see him fight Fundora. I wouldn't mind seeing him fight Virgil Ortiz. It's some good money and some good fights on the table now, but it ain't Canelo money, and I get it. $40-50 million. I ain't mad at Bud. I just don't want to see him lose at this point. Especially you made it past Earl. Don't fuck it up now. That's all I'm saying. I just want to see him. He's 10 fights away from what Floyd did, 50 and to be honest with you, he could maneuver himself into 10 fights if he wanted to, and he ain't got to fight no hard fights if he don't want to. Floyd didn't at the end. He really could play it like that if he wanted to. But I do, this is why I say this is a very dangerous fight for Canelo, but Turkey gonna pay top dollar for it. So I gotta say the type of money he gonna make, I cannot tell you not to go get that kind of paper. I ain't nowhere in the hell I'm gonna say that. It's personal for me. At this point, I don't want to see him lose. Not now. I just don't want to see him lose at this point. And I ain't saying that he will, but I will have to say the needle definitely pointing towards Canelo. If you ask me, size, youth, he just got a way more to his advantage than Bud too. So I don't see nothing even about that fight. Other than, they both got skills. But like I say, man, I could see if Canelo's going to come down to 160. They meet at 160 or something like that. I would feel a lot more comfortable about that type of situation, more so than him going up to 168 and taking a chance to get in the ring with somebody that's going to be 175, 180 pounds when he come in there, and in shape, swinging hard, and know what the fuck he doing. Canelo can fight. Canelo can fight. I don't know why guys don't give him the respect. Just look at the guys he been in the ring with and won. Canelo can box. As simple as that. You ain't gotta like him, but you gotta believe your eyes at some point. He ain't beat all these motherfuckers and can't fight. I'm just keeping it real, So I figure, man. Like I say, man. Bud gotta do what's best for him. And I'm definitely going to enjoy watching the fight. I'm going to be hoping he win. And I like Canelo, too. I'm just disappointed that Canelo wouldn't give Benavidez a shot. A guy that deserves it, that's, in the same weight division. Now, his height and reach, that is a lot of problems. And here's my thing. Just come out and say so. That's my thing right there. I would rather for you to be real and be like, look, Benavidez is a little bit too big for me. I don't like that fight for myself. Hey, can't nobody do nothing but respect it, whether they like it or not, instead of you just making up shit like he don't deserve, just some of the stuff that's been going on. Ain't nothing wrong with telling the truth and thinking that a guy bad matchup for you. Ain't nothing wrong with saying it, shit. Ray Charles can look at it and tell. So like I said, I don't think he no bigger than Kovalov or some of these other dudes he done beat. But like I say, man, that's who I would have liked to see Canelo be fighting. I would like to see Canelo and Benavidez. and Bud versus Fundura or somebody, or Charlo, one of them. I mean, something that's more even, for all parties involved. But once again, I had to give Bud his credit. Bud's the best out of the bunch. Out of the crop that he came in boxing with, he's the best 1 pound for pound boxer, clearly. And I say the reason he the best because he can box and he can fight too when it's time to fight. But that's it for me on this video. If you like the video, like and subscribe. Till the next time, it's your boy Spill Dog. I'm out.